You've just got back from Perth. So.
Perth was good. We went over for the UFC. Was only there for a few days, but yeah, kind of forget the whole thing. It just turned into one massive drinking session.
Get to go to the press conference and all that this time?
Yeah, so we went to the press conference. We were doing a bit of an uncut trip there, so did a couple of uncuts. We got there late Thursday night. It was like 1 a.m. I was actually really scared when we were checking into the hotel because obviously arriving at that time, some hotels have receptionists there, some don't. And we've rocked up. Yep, typical, no one there. And I was like, fuck's sake, don't tell me we're going to be on the street for the night. But there was actually a sign there that you could ring someone up and, ended up turning out all right. They had our key cards in a locker. So that was all sweet, checked in. And then the next day was the press conferences. So the UFC actually sorted us out with a heap of howler heads. Have you tried that?
Yeah. That's the same ones we had in LA, the shots, yeah?
Yeah. They're actually a really decent drink. I mean, I wouldn't have a whole session on them. But
what is a howler head? Is it a spirit?
It's a whiskey.
It's a whiskey.
Yeah. It's a real smooth banana flavouring type one.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a really nice drink to have a couple. But yeah, I wouldn't sort of send it on it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, they dropped.
So did you send it on it?
Yeah. We had. That's where I was going. We had no choice, bro. They've dropped us off. We're there for like 3-4 days, and they've dropped us off like I'd say 10 bottles, like 2 cartons, and about 40 shots. And I'm like, what are we doing with this? Anyway, so we had a few down there, and then we went to the pub close by to the press conference. Went to the press conferences. That was pretty sick. A lot of shit talking going on. One of the funniest things I find with UFC is they've got the strangest fan base. Hey, people just turn on them so quick. So when we were at the press conference, everyone was cheering on Izzy, and then when don't know how you say his name.
Dricus Duplessis.
Dricus,
I think that's how you say it. Yeah.
So anyway, when he came on stage or started talking, the whole crowd was booing him.
Yeah. I was watching it on TV. I was like, oh, he's copping some hate in this one.
So you could hear that on TV too.
Massively.
So yeah, anyway, it was like the loudest boos I've ever heard. Anyway, fast forward to the actual UFC itself. Same thing. Izzy walked out, the crowd went wild. Dricus walked out, and everyone's booing. But anyway, once he won, then the crowd's going wild again, and then Izzy's walking back out, and everyone's booing. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
I was like, I'd hate to be a fighter, man. You have 20 wins, everyone says they support you.
I think it's not even fighters these days. It's like loyalty in general.
Well, they're both good talkers, right? Like Izzy's fantastic, but so is that Duplessis. He's honest when he speaks. He's very likable.
I like him. I like him. Yeah,
I do too. I think he's him.
You know what I love about him? Because I know if Izzy won, he wouldn't have stayed all humble and talked about Dricus so well and nice. But Dricus, after the shit he copped from Izzy, still had the respect.
Mad respect for him,
and, was so humble about the win and calling Izzy a legend and all that sort of stuff. That's when I really respected him.
Yeah, I think he gained a lot of fans this one. Like, obviously, well, he was already champ, so he's obviously big, but I think he gained a lot of respect.
It was a big hump that he had to sort of hurdle. Like, Izzy's a very, very popular UFC fighter. Yeah. But Duplessis always been on point with his speaking, with his conferences, and now he's the champion, mate. I think he's going to be a great champion. I think he'll be there for a long time.
For sure. I feel like I'm a bit of bad luck at the UFC. It's funny. Even after that fight, so the UFC sent me a message saying you're not coming next time. You're bad luck. because like the first one in Sydney, I was going for Izzy. He lost, and I don't know what that fight was from very get-go. He just wasn't on. Yeah. Then went to America with you. Volk. Lost. and then back over to Perth, and Izzy's went down again.
Yeah, it's true. There is a common theme going on here, eh?
Yeah. So we're done for the UFC.
True. Yeah. I got to say though, all of Australia, there was a moment. I think it was at UFC 300 when you guys dressed up with the Volk fight, right? Was that 300?
299.
299.
298. Sorry.
298. I think,
we were sitting with a group of 6 blokes, and everybody's revved up. The whole country, the whole world was revved up. It was the biggest event on the planet. And up come these Aussie boys, and we all knew Shammi, and we're looking, and we were all so proud. We all jumped up, going, yeah. Little did I know, a few months after that, not even that, you know, Jashan would move in next door, and we'd become mates. But I remember the feeling that we all had in the whole house, this Aussie pride that these Aussie blokes were on the biggest platform in the world. And were cool. Like, you guys were funny as hell.
Did you get a hard one, did you?
A little bit stiffy.
What was cool about that is, you know, there's plenty of social media people invited along, but they never show them on TV. They're never televised. If there's celebrities in the house, you know, NFL players or movie stars or anything like that, they'll flash them for a second. But we've done pretty well to get televised earlier in the day, and then right before Volk actually fought too, while he was weighing in, I've later looked at it and we were right before that. So it was pretty cool.
And it was funny. I remember us talking there because, you know, people go to the UFC, people are generally blinging themselves up, getting dressed in their best, and we're like, fuck it, let's go to an op shop, just get the shittiest suits and dress as old men.
You look like the Peaky Blinders. I mean, that's what we thought you were. We thought it was the coolest thing we'd seen.
Yeah.
But,
you wouldn't believe how much they stunk. I thought part of an op shop, they'd have to wash the clothes, but fuck, it didn't smell that way. They were bad.
Yeah.
That's why you paid $5 a piece, boys.
No, we didn't. Remember,
Bro, op shops aren't cheap anymore. What's going on?
No, that one was ridiculous.
Well, where'd you shop? What's Rodeo Drive?
So, close by. Yeah, we were running out of time.
Yeah.
We knew we had to go and op shop, but the pieces were like $50-$60 each. They were ridiculous. And we were like, what the fuck? But we're like, nah, we've got to go to the fight soon because it was an hour away from where we were staying. And so, we had to get a move on.
Yeah,
We're
no
like,
choice.
We're like, fuck you, op shop.
Yeah. Well, I think we end up spending like $300 US, $350 US. So that's like over $500 Aussie dollars in an op shop. We're like,
unbelievable.
What happened to the $20 suits back in the day?
I saw you Aussies coming.
But put it this way. Imagine how much it would be to put an ad in the UFC like that. Probably be like 25K. So we saved ourselves a bit.
Unbelievable.
You know, you got two broadcasts in there.
And did you get to the after parties or anything over in Perth, or was there? Yeah, there would have been after
There
parties.
was after parties. It was on a really strange time. So Perth is 2 hours behind Brisbane. So the fight started off at 6 a.m.
Yeah, wow.
It was so early, man. And
What time did you get there?
we got there about 7.
Wow.
So we wanted to watch, a few of the prelims as well. But it was a vibe. Hey, Aussie crowds always just go nuts.
Well, you hear about it even in the press conferences and stuff. The fighters saying like the crowds here are just insane.
Yeah.
So we do all right, eh? We do all right,
Mate, Dana says it all the time. He loves us.
Yeah.
He loves the Aussies, yeah.
Yeah. So back to your question. We got there around 7. We were kind of taking it slow for the morning because we were planning on going out that night. Then next thing, the UFC come around, give us howler heads again, make us have a few shots. And then by that time, we're like, a bit keen. So then we were doing kind of 2 each rounds. So we probably had about 8 drinks each at the UFC. And it wrapped up in Perth around 1 p.m.
Yeah, right.
So at this stage, it was a very awkward time. It's like,
What do we do for 9 hours?
if we keep going, we're going to be pretty messy. So
Yes.
we kept going.